Gravity Falls is the best cartoon of all time and the best thing that Disney has ever produced. The Dipper and Wendy relationship was way better than the Dipper and Pacifica relationship. Stitch the movie is the best Disney movie ever made. Dr. Doofenshmirtz is the worst Phineas and Ferb character, and the best is Baljeet. Life of Brian and Stewie are two of the best Family Guy episodes ever made. Stan is the worst character on American Dad. Trapped in the Closet is one of the worst South Park episodes of all time. Steve Smith from American Dad is the best cartoon character of all time. The Cleveland Show is underrated. The Simpsons is overrated and is not even close to being one of the top best cartoons of all time. The best cartoon about the South is Big City Greens. King of the Hill wouldn't even crack the top 5. Tina on Bob's Burgers is not as funny as people say. Adult Swim originals are not that good. Shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Rick and Morty, and Robot Chicken are just too bizarre. The best cartoon on Adult Swim is Home Movies, no question. The worst character on a regular show is Mordecai. Happy Tree Friends is one of the most disturbing cartoons ever made, and it is no reason other than just be violent for no reason. It's stupid. This one's not really about cartoons, but the best show on HBO is Harold and the Purple Crayon. Forget The Sopranos, The Wire, and Game of Thrones. This is some high quality television right here. Despite it being a legendary cartoon in the 90s, the original Ren and Stimpy show does not hold up. The worst cartoon on Netflix is Big Mouth, and the best is Hilda. The best streaming site for cartoons is HBO Max, as they have all the Cartoon Network stuff that you would want. And the worst is Disney Plus, as they have a lot of stuff missing, including these. Atlantis Square Penis was an awesome episode of SpongeBob. Superhero cartoons such as Batman the Animated Series and the original Teen Titans are super overrated. More teen-based Nickelodeon cartoons such as My Life as a Teenage Robot and Danny Phantom are way better than Rugrats and the Fairly OddParents.
All Grown Up is also better than Rugrats.
Between Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and the Disney Channel, the only one that's had good quality shows in the last 5 years is the Disney Channel. Nickelodeon has not made a single good cartoon in over a decade. Clarence is way better than Ed, Edd n Eddy. The best era for Nickelodeon was the 90s, with shows like Rugrats, Cat Dog, and Hey Arnold, all still being instant classics. And the worst is the 2010s with horrible shows like Fanboy and Chum Chum, Breadwinners, and Sanjay and Craig. Courage the Cowardly Dog is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life, and yet it's still aimed at kids. I don't know how they got away with that one. Cartoon Network went bad in less than a year, with Teen Titans Go being played constantly, despite it not even being their most popular show at the time. While they have regained themselves since with amazing shows like Infinity Train and Craig of the Creek, they still only play the same 3 shows. Teen Titans Go, Total Dramarama, and The Amazing World of Gumball. And all of those are terrible. The worst season of Total Drama is Total Drama Action. Recess School's Out was way better than the show. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids is the only good thing that Bill Cosby ever did in his entire career. PBS Kids is the best cartoon channel of all time, beating out Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and the Disney Channel. The Care Bears franchise is way better than the My Little Pony franchise. The theme song for the Nut Shack is awesome. The Braceface episode entitled Miami Vices is one of the best cartoon episodes of all time. Dora the Explorer is still a decent show. Teletubbies was a really messed up show that was not for kids in any way. Hammerman is the most 90s cartoon and the most dated cartoon of that generation. And because of that, you still don't remember it. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is so overrated. The Berenstain Bears cartoon from the 80s is unwatchable. Board Girl is the best superhero cartoon out there. The best show Nick Jr. has and always will be Max and Ruby. Cyber Chase is the most educational kids show of all time and should be played in school, as you'll learn more from it than, say, The Magic School Bus or Bill Nye the Science Guy. Scooby-Doo is the most overrated franchise in cartoon history. Over the Garden Wall is the best mini-series of all time. Sonic is the only video game character that had multiple good cartoon shows. The The Mario and Zelda shows from the 80s are totally dated. In fact, most cartoons from the 80s are pretty dated, including these. There are no good anime shows. Volopolis is a decent cartoon from the internet. There are some cartoons that are absolutely amazing, like Family Guy and SpongeBob, but I wouldn't consider them perfect shows. Those are only for the truly legendary, spectacular shows. Brickleberry is a direct ripoff of Family Guy, but it's a decent show. Free For All is a very obscure adult cartoon, and it deserves to stay that way, because it's not that good. Slacker Cats was on the wrong network and was aimed towards the wrong audience, even though you've probably never even heard of that show. Larry and Steve and Seth MacFarlane's cavalcade of cartoon comedy are two things that Seth MacFarlane did before and after Family Guy, and they're only worth watching if you're a hardcore fan of his other works. Despite it being a preschool show, Arthur is more of a drama than a comedy, and adults can respect its sometimes dark subject matter. There are some Nickelodeon cartoons like The X's and Mr. Meaty that deserve to be forgotten. The best cartoon of 2020 is Duncanville. Central Park is a good show, and the only reason to get Apple TV.
Brian is the worst character on Family Guy.
And finally, the worst cartoon of the 2010s is Rick and Morty.
You what?
Let's accept it, people. This show is trash and deserves none of the praise it gets or any of the hype that it gets. Don't know why it's so freaking popular.
You what?